Welcome, Professor Puntoni, to the Q&A about the book, because you were inside the book with a quote about how to collaborate with academics. And you were saying, like, if there is a goodwill, everything can go smoothly, even if everyone is super busy, which is the case now. So the question for you is, why it's so important for you to collaborate with industry as you are an academic? And what are the benefits for you as an academic and researcher?
Thank you, Jara, for the opportunity here and for the quote, and also congratulations for the book. Maybe I can share some background on a trend that you see common now in academia, at least in applied, let's say, faculties like a business department or faculty. And that is a increasing importance that has been taking in the direction of engagement with society and with, dealing with practical issues and displaying that our work by means of research and teaching has a tangible impact on society, whatever stakeholders the academic is meant to target, whether that be a manager, a policymaker, or a consumer, or whatever. And because of that, I think academics now have a lot more incentives than they may be used to collaborate with outside stakeholders, meaning companies or think tanks or whatever platforms that might offer them the opportunity to create that engagement and that proof of impact. And that is true for, let's say, the research activities. So you see that, for example, a lot of the top academic journals nowadays almost expect to see also some field data, some data gathered together with an outside organization. Maybe that is a field experiment with a company, maybe some observational correlational data collected by some organization that shows the validity and the, let's say, real world impact of some of the interventions or ideas that are being developed in a particular academic article. That was not the case before. At least in my field, in marketing, it was certainly the case that you could publish articles without having any, let's say, real world data. It could be maybe laboratory data or panel surveys from different types of respondents, but essentially wouldn't necessarily need to work with an organization to publish articles. Now, increasingly, that has been valued, which sets now a big incentive for academics to do it. And broader beyond the research domain, I think universities everywhere are trying to demonstrate the value that they bring to society. There's been a lot of scrutiny about the budgets for education in general, and therefore, we need to show to our, let's say, paymasters in The Hague, in the case of a Dutch university, that indeed we are worth the money that we're spending. And for that, universities are increasingly thinking about projects that could document the societal impact. So engagement is becoming really important. So I think academics have a lot of insights now and a lot of incentives to collaborate with organizations outside academia. And they can do that for a variety of different purposes. As I mentioned now, to foster their academic publishing career. So that could be part of their research strategy. It could be part of a broader university strategy for engagement. So for an individual academic, it could be more like a service to the university. It could be connected to teaching. Could be connected also to additional basis of funding for the university. So you would see often either grant proposals where you have collaborative grants, because now, for example, the European Commission, a lot of the money is devoted to schemes where you would have different universities, but the private parties need to be involved also to be able to apply. Or simply direct funding, like funding of PhD projects, funding of time of individuals, like consulting activities of different sorts, contract research. You see more and more of that also, as in many countries, the purses of the public funding has sometimes been a bit tighter.
Yeah, and because you are doing this before now, like it was important. So you have a lot of experience doing these collaborations with you and industry. Do you have a structure or methodology to kick off this collaboration? And if you have best practices for some academic, scientific, like they never do it before, and like how to approach industry as well?
I don't really have a template or a process, but And I think in a way that there are too many different organizations to have one, in the sense that probably, for individual collaborations, you will need to be flexible because different companies work in a different way. My experience, however, has been that what is really, really important is that while the academic needs to be clear about their own goals or what they want to get out of this collaboration, it is also very important that they are aware of what the partner could also get out of the collaboration. Mm-hmm. Because if that awareness is not there, then the discussion would very quickly run out of steam. And I've seen that many times where the academic is very excited, but he's only excited about his or her own kind of benefit without understanding, what is the other one supposed to get? And they can see there is something, but they cannot articulate it. And because of that, the outside party quickly loses interest. And so that would be one case. So I think it would create a win-win situation. A win-win situation will be important. So trying to understand what are the shared goals? What could we do together that would be a mutual benefit?
Yeah, I think using the canvas of collaboration is in the book,
for example. Perfect. that is an actionable framework that you could use to try to do the matching game. I think in my experience, a lot of it can come through informal conversations. Also, just trying to listen, ask questions, and then also when you talk about your academic work, talk about it not in the words of an academic in a way, but in a word of real world. What does it mean? Okay, you might use complicated language, but can you make it clear what actually is the usefulness of this? And that's something that maybe a lot of academics are not very well prepared because they're not trained to speak oftentimes the language of, let's say, real people. So I think if you really want to work with a company, you need to be able to somehow listen very carefully to what they need and make sure you are able to convince them that you are able to help them get to where they want to be.
I think one of the questions, the last one I wanted to ask you is like, what would you like to receive as a support from your university to increase these collaborations?
Yeah, actually, in our university now at the Rotterdam School of Management, Erasmus University, we have a discussion ongoing about how do we create processes for engagement. Now it's been very piecemeal, individuals have relationships with businesses and organizations outside the university, but we haven't had really a very good discussion about how we can formalize that across the organization, how we can make sure that we leverage to, the most, those relationships now is very much disseminated across. There's very little insight into what is doing what, who is doing what, for example. So there might be one company engaging with 5 different academics from different departments, and they don't know, and nobody knows what's going on. So sometimes there will be duplicates, inconsistencies, lost opportunities. There will be a lot of things that could have been done better. And we have now an attempt to formalize this relationship a bit more. In fact, we create a new position recently of the Dean of Engagement, who is a person who's supposed to lead and create a strategy for how we do engagement at the university. And I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to lead to. I don't have a very good answer at the moment, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah, thank you very much, Stefano. And thank you as well because we did the podcast, and thank you to the podcast, your quote is in the book as an example, of thinking, forward thinking about how to collaborate with industry. So thank you very much.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure.
So thank you for listening. This conversation with Professor Stefano Puntoni from the RSM Erasmus University, which is the quote inside the book. You can get a copy of your book on Amazon, but as well in our website. And from the website, you will get all the canvases in PDF as well for free as a bonus. So you can use it straight away. You can print out or work in your computer with the PDF and use the canvas immediately when you buy the book on our website. So thank you very much, and looking forward to seeing you next week with other interviews from the contributors from the book. Bye.